Had this pickup for quite a while, and I figured I'd make kind of a video about it just because she's gonna get ready to have some work done to it. This is my 1990 Dodge D50, aka Mighty Max, aka Toyota Killer. No, I'm just kidding, it's kind of a turd. But yeah, this thing's had a lot of little work done to it, and I think it's about time for a heart transplant. So let's start off the basics. It's a 1990 Dodge Power Ram 50 or D50. It's got a small block 360 under the hood, 727 auto trans, and a 203 transfer case. This thing sits on 37-inch pit bull tires with all half-ton running gear. So here we go, little 8 1/4, I think it is, in the rear. I think it's got a Dana 44 in the front. Now this is the old school pattern. So basically it's a 1990 body on a 76 Dodge W100 frame. So I got this thing a couple years ago. I traded for it, and then I ended up trading it off. And after about a year of getting rid of it, the seller contacted me and said, "Hey, I'm going to list it for sale if you're still interested." And I said, "All right, well, I'll think about it." And before I knew it, I threw him a cash offer and I bought it back. So he needed some work, so I tore the engine out of it. Let's see, cleaned it up quite a bit. I installed a new 3-quart aluminum radiator into it. I did throw 2-inch wheel spacers in it. I wrapped the headers. I tinkered with the carb a little bit, did dual batteries, upgraded winch, some lights, interior work, got the nice LEDs up top as well, and I built the custom rack for it. So I took it to the Gambler 500. It was my Gambler truck. And did all right, but I kept throwing alternator belts. So, which I'll show you guys the inside of this. Grab my little hood prop back here. Oh shit, oh there it is. Hood prop. It's got an aftermarket fuel cell in the back. It's just a small 20-gallon, even though this small block drinks fuel. So let's see, I'm gonna set this down for a second and show you guys inside. So this block was nice and clean when I put it back together. I went to the Gambler, which is an extremely dirty event, and this is where it happened. My custom strap here made some redneck mounts for my dual battery holder. I've got my winch box relocated over there. Of course, nice fancy PA. And it tucks in this small block 360. So I tried to do my first ever header wrap job, which I did fair. I didn't wet the header wrap. Some people recommend it. This wrap says you didn't have to wet it down, but I was trying my best. Then I got the nice 3-quart, which I don't know what the hell's going on here, but this isn't even on right. Looks like it's actually bent or something. That's sitting there right, does it? Huh. Oh well. Yep, nice aluminum 3-quart radiator. I got dual electric fans up front here. 12,000-pound winch. The frame on the inside is actually all boxed in. Stock steering box, aftermarket arm. So I had to kind of custom fab this arm. I took basically, well, I thought that end was actually gonna be larger, so I ended up buying just a blank Borgeson extending steering shaft. I bought external U-joint, 36 splines, and a 36 spline to mount onto the bottom side. And then I put that up there and it wasn't as tight as I wanted it to be, so I ended up welding it around the edge of it. So it is a permanent U-joint on there, but this side is still bolted, so I can undo the bolt and slide that out minus the U-joint if I need to. And this is how she fits in there. I'm not a professional, man. I'm just kind of throwing some stuff together, making it work. I've got an upgraded GM one-wire alternator on there right now. It's a 120 amp. Helps out a ton for winching. Like I said, I went through this and I basically just did a cleanup on the block. So it's a 77 or 76 block, small block 360. Thing it's pretty much like it was from factory. It's really not a ton of power. It's more than a 4-banger, more than a 6-banger, but I give it that. I recently found out, I never did go through the axles until now, this thing sucks. It has like 320 some gears in it, 323s, or they're highway gears from hell. I was wondering why I was really down on power. Well, that figures. That and the transmission is just about ready to be ripped out, or it's on its last leg-ish. Yeah, my other battery normally goes right here. It's in my other truck though. Stole it. But when I got it had this massive Pro Mod scoop on it, giant hole in it. And I just kind of always rocked with it. I threw the dual filters on there and just ran with it for now. LEDs, can't go wrong with LEDs on everything. It does have rock lights installed, so I threw those on. There's one on the inside, there's the other. It's got 2 on each side of the fender wells. It's kind of cool. Total mall crawler status. But basically, it's a new body on an older frame, if you want to think of that. So I don't know how soon it's going to be, but a 5.3 liter swap is coming for this truck soon. Maybe a 6.0, the LQ4. I'm not too sure what I want to do, but I'll show you guys inside here. So I've got all my gauges set up on here. Most of the dash doesn't even work. So I think my fuel gauge works sometimes. Other than that, everything else doesn't. So it's just got aftermarket tack. Got the fat tack up there. Coolant, battery, oil. And then it's got a fat Hirsch shifter, which is obnoxious, but I love it to death. So when I get the new, hopefully I get a 4L80, I'd be happy with that. I'm gonna probably reroute, keep the same kind of shifter in it. Looks like a manual, but it's auto. And then my 203 transfer case shifter over there. I've got all my gauges set down here. I've got my rock lights down here wired up, and then I've got radiator fan auxiliary fans and my lights up top. Can't forget the PA either. It's not a bad little truck. Honestly, if I tried to start it, it'd probably take like 10 minutes to start, and the belt's gonna squeal from hell because I think the belt's still a little loose on there. But I mean, you know, I'll try to start it. We'll see how good this battery is. I haven't fired this thing up in about a month and a half now, so this could take a minute. Let's see what happens though. See if this is the little alternator and battery that could. Everything's pretty much turned off, off. It doesn't have a choke on it, so it's extremely cold-blooded. Sometimes it'll take me probably 2-3 minutes to try to start it up. Normally I have dual batteries in there, so I feel bad for that one battery. Come on, girl. The reason why I'm going to tear this engine combo out, I'm trying to shoot for an EFI setup on here. I'm tired of not being able to go up hills, and I want some more power. I think this engine's pretty old and tired. Trans is old and tired. The axles are, it's just not really set up for what it needs to be. So I have 3/4 ton axles. I might switch to 1 ton depending on how my front end axle goes. But, oh, got a little spurt. Man, that battery is hurting right now. Oh, seems to be charging. That's not bad. All right, let's see. Give this thing a minute. Like I said, she's carbureted. It's got a Holley 1406 on there, I think. What's that, a 600 CFM? Or no, I say Holley, Edelbrock. It's got a Edelbrock 600 CFM on there. It's done me pretty good. I used to daily drive the shit out of this truck, and then when I bought it back, I just went a little crazy with it. And this is where she is now. I have been so mean to this block too. I have just held my foot to the floor and let it bounce off the valves while she's been cold-blooded. I have been so mean. I've been waiting for this block just to completely take a shit. And as you can see, all the oil that was on the block, yeah, I got an oil leak off my valve cover and it's pretty good. And getting on it just makes the bitch leak like a sieve. Doesn't sound too bad. I think they got thrushes on there. Straight duals back with thrushes. They come out right before the back tire. It sounds good, it just doesn't run good. And I think if I had like a different trans set up in here, the block was tuned really good, and different transfer case, because I'm not a big fan of this 203. Full time is nice. I'd like to do a doubler, but I think just going to a newer transfer case would be a little better. So this has got a, like, I cruise around and run this thing in like low range and just abuse the crap out of it. There we go. Now she's holding an idle. Nice. So this is where she's at. Still got a pretty nice exhaust leak. I tore these headers off and they had these fat gaskets on it. So I put a different gasket on it, didn't work. I put 2 gaskets on it, didn't work. I tried thick gaskets. I tried header gaskets, specifically thick header gaskets. I ordered a pair online, did not work. God, I've tried almost everything, they still leak. I've tried even the orange or red RTV, whatever, on top of the header gasket. Small leak, it probably needs ground down. They might be warped, who knows. So it's been a great block though. I'm probably gonna be selling my whole combo here, like engine, trans, T-case, and axles, probably for like 500 bucks. It still runs, it drives, just needs a little bit of love. This block, I think, still got a lot of life left in it. My oil pressure's great for it. Oh yeah, there's that belt squeal. Look how loose that thing is. What sucks is I tighten it up all the time and it doesn't make a difference. It looks like it's touching. Oh my god. That's my hot wire. Almost touching. Oh, maybe I need a better hold down, huh? I think I made that hold down for the Gambler in like the day we were leaving. I got the dual battery, and that night, because I had issues with trying to wire up my box over here. And so finally I was like, fuck it. I just welded in a couple pieces of metal that kind of supported on this side, and then I found the strap and just yanked it down and was like, I'm calling it for now. And we didn't do a ton for the Gambler. I started leaking some transmission fluid, crazy enough. I think it got overfilled when I went and had it serviced. And then it started leaking real bad. I went back and stopped at the pumice pits, and then came back and it stopped. It wasn't leaking no more. So I think the seal got really hot and kind of sealed itself up. Also kind of another reason why I want to get rid of this setup. But overall, God, I just love this hood scoop. Damn. Put my little pins back in. The very first time I got this truck on a trade, I traded my big truck for it. And the first test drive, I went down to O'Reilly's to go grab some coolant for it because I noticed it was low. I forgot the hood pins. The hood came up and completely shattered my windshield. So with the money the guy gave me on top of the trade, oh well, it shut off, that's fine. I ended up having to buy new glass. Had it retinted, put tin on the front and the backs, and yeah, that was fun. That was a nice $400 bill. So, well, this is pretty much my mini truck. This is my Dodge D50. Oh, I didn't explain though. Most people are gonna ask, why the hell did you put that there and not put it on the column? Well, if you look, there is not one on the column. This used to be a manual truck. See that third pedal down there? Don't look at the wiring, that's a rat's nest. Used to be a manual truck. That's why it's routed straight up. So that's why they routed that with the Hurst shifter right to the floor and just ran with it. It works really good. I like it. So hopefully in the next month or so, I'll be working on that.